Joan, your face is like the war in Iraq, an expensive, bloody mess that everybody's tired of seeing on TV.
You took a last week and Rock Hudson came out.
Now, a lot of people are going to joyously say a lot of terrible things about you tonight, Joan. But as the saying goes, sticks and stones may break your bones, but at your age, you could actually break a hip taking a shit. When Joan was born, the doctors took a look at her and said, "Holy shit, we're gonna make a fortune on this one." Then they got on the Mayflower and set sail for America. Our Joan started out in Brooklyn as little Joan Malinsky. You know, my Joni, Jewish girls are supposed to grow up and marry doctors, not support them. Jonal is not an Orthodox Jew, but men still fuck her through a sheet so they don't have to look at that face. Joan, can we talk? My guess is you don't have much of a sex life anymore. The only people you're screwing these days are your customers at QVC. By the way, I got the earrings on. I got the earrings on. I got the earrings on. Joan Rivers collection, I love them. Joan, look, you know I adore you. You're an inspiration to me. You have made it possible, certainly, for every female comedian to work. You're a trailblazer. You're the first and last woman in the history of network late night to have a show. You put the red carpet on the map. Nobody watched the red carpet before Joan. You put that whole thing on the map. You got a fantastic career. You're famous all over the world. And no matter where you go or who you meet, everyone says the same thing your gynecologist said the first time he took a look at you. What an ugly cunt.
Kathy Griffin. You know what you are, darling? You are a thief. Yes, you stole my act, you stole my gaze, and you stole the face of the Burger King. I am not happy with this.
Joan has been in show business for 50 years and still going strong. Joan has had her face on more red carpets than an Irish lesbian, ladies and gentlemen. Joan, and I know this is a fact, Joan has fucked more old Jews than Bernie Madoff. Most of you know that Joan, she sells beauty products on QVC. I don't have a joke for that. I just think that it's hilarious in a tragically ironic way. So much for truth in advertising. Huh, Joan? Joan's face has been lifted so many times that when she sneezes, she has to blow her clit. See, you could have said that, Carl. You can come back up here and say, blow a clit. Joan's face has been lifted more times than Bristol Palin's prom dress. Can you say that? Joan, you're a great comic, and I just want to thank you for letting me be part of this tonight. You are truly a legend in your own time, and I know that deep down, you have a very, very warm heart. Your only original part left. And Joan, I know in a different time, maybe in a different world, that you and I could have had a shot, if only I was into necrophilia.
Brad Garrett. Brad, you have the nerve to criticize me? The only thing lower than your show's rating is a Carl Reiner's ball. Show him, Carl. Wake him up.
I'm actually surprised to see all of these people here because, Joan, you're not well liked. You've been called bitch more times than a white guy serving a life sentence. Actually, Joan, there's no point in trashing your face because your surgeon already did that for us. By the way, loved you and saw. Your face doesn't move. I can't believe they haven't hired you to host New Year's Rockin' Eve. In closing, what do you call a woman who's broken down barriers for female comics? A comedian who's entertained us and our families on TV for years? What do you call an icon, a beloved icon that's part of the fabric of this country? You call her Carol Burnett.
Robin, you were supposed to bring class. That's why we booked you. Oh, my God. What you said was so true, Gilbert, about the father. Oh, when you do the Howard Stern show, every time there's a break, she goes, oh, my father molested me. My father molested me. Take a good look at yourself, darling. Let me tell you something. You should be thrilled that that man paid any attention at all. I saw you naked backstage, bitch. You look like a f***ing mudslide. I don't even talk about you.
Joan, you are one irritating Jew broad. The first time I heard your voice, my foreskin fell off. What have you done to your upper lip? Did you blow a beehive? Holy shit, you look like Steven Tyler f***ed a life raft. Seriously, you're not the only one here. All these rubber-faced monsters. What the f***? What goes into people's heads out here? Why? Did you really? Is that good? How much worse could your real face look than that clown mask you've had welded on your head? You used to look your age. Now you don't even look your species. You once said you succeeded by saying what everyone else is thinking, and that's not true. It's not true. I never heard you say, holy shit, what the f*** did I do to my face? I look like a surprised catfish. Joan, you really are an absolutely incredible talent. You're absolutely hysterical. Every comic I know respects you. That's the God's honest truth. Everyone thinks you're hilarious. I think you're the best. And at your age, you're still relevant, still cool, and shit, you even got a boob job just a few years ago. You're every man's dream. And by that, I mean every man that dreams of titty fucking a crocodile.
When they said to me, Greg Giraldo is gonna be on the show, I said, who the f*** is Greg Giraldo? And then I thought, this is wrong. And I went and I Googled you. And you know what Google said? Who the f*** is Greg Giraldo? But I thank you for coming.
I Wikipedia'd you today. Did you feel it? No. Anyway, there are pages and pages and pages, and in among all of this, her real dream was to be a serious actress. And you know what happened? It's cruel, it's cruel. She walked on a stage, and they started to laugh at her. She was deadly serious, and people have been laughing at her and laughing at her. If we want to do her a big favor, we'll stop laughing at her. She wanted to do Joan of Arc. I would love to see Joan burnt at a stake, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you? Anyway, my last word, and this is a word I have never, ever said anywhere, and I heard it tonight, and I'm going to try to say it. Very hard for me to say, who was brought up with the Hayes office and all those censors. It's the word for vagina. And I'm going to make an attempt. I'm going to make an attempt. Please get me through this. If I get through this, I can go on to the next level. I'm 87. I'll go on to, who knows, 88. Anyway, I'm going to try to say it. I said it.
You took a comedy legend and you destroyed this poor son of a bitch. Can you hear that, Carl? You used to work clean. Do you remember that at all? What'd you say tonight? You said shit. You said cunt. You never said that in your routines. You say that for home when the synagogue called for money. I'm just sick of this.
Joan, your face is like the war in Iraq, an expensive, bloody mess that everybody's tired of seeing on TV. Joan's Hebrew name is Niptach. This is Joan looking in the mirror. Who are you? She outlasted all the dead people that should be here roasting her. I know Betty Davis, stroke and all, is looking up from hell just going, Joan Rivers, we are all waiting for you down here, waiting for you and your immobile face. I had a stroke, you know. Yes, I had a stroke, but I never had any work done. No, I did it the hard way. You were the smart one, Joan. You had plastic surgery early on, so after your stroke, no one could ever tell.
I saw that movie you guys did together. Fantastic, great TV movie the two of you did about their lives, mother and daughter. It was called Grey Gardens. Melissa, I'm hungry. Get me some cat food. Mother, I can't find the can opener. Use my teeth. They're in a jar by the sink. And you were brilliant in the vagina monologues. Ugh, my vagina talks and talks and talks and doesn't know what the it's saying. That's not true. My vagina does talk, and all it says is water, water. Oil can, oil can. I adore you, and that is the reason why I'm here. I think you're brilliant. You're funnier now than ever. And that is honestly the truth. I mean, you've always been brilliant. You're a genius. So I adore you, and I thank you very much, and thank you very much.
And speaking of men in fishnets, I love that transition. What am I going to say to you, Mario? Welcome to the dais. Dorothy, you're not in Ken's ass anymore. You're in the big time. You took a shit last week and Rock Hudson came out. I mean,
Joan, I loved you in The Wrestler. Joan Rivers has done some TV. I actually recently saw her vagina on an episode of The Deadliest Catch. I can't imagine what that vagina looks like. Joan's vagina is so old, it has a separate entrance for black cocks.
now I just have to talk about you, honey.
Oh.
Who the f are you? Whitney came to me all sweet. I want your advice. I'm a young comedian. I want your... I'll give you advice. I'll give you the same advice I gave to David Carradine. Hang in there. Now...
You know, there's been a lot of speculation tonight about Joan Rivers' vagina. How old is it? How dry is it? How many men died during its construction? Well, good people, I have had sex with Joan Rivers, and I can tell you from experience that her much maligned vagina is in fact a glorious thing of unparalleled beauty. It was early in my career I walked into the green room at Catch a Rising Star. Who do I see? The great Joan Rivers. At this point in my life, I'd already had sexual congress with dozens of Joan Rivers impersonators. And most were total gentlemen, like Mr. Mario Cantone. But Joan was an animal. She quickly disrobed. Her ashy, yellow, veiny skin was cold and smooth to the touch, like a dead Komodo dragon. Which made my young comics custard cannon rock hard. She spread her legs and I was immediately blinded by a flurry of bats. When the bats had cleared, I saw it. The fabled Joan Rivers vagina. It was magnificent. A gleaming pink flower glistening with morning dew. It filled the room with sunshine and rainbows. A unicorn looked out of it, winking as if to beckon me inside. Take me, Joan hissed. Fill me with your seed so I may live another century. She climbed atop 2 cases of Rolling Rock and began thrusting her heavenly loins onto my young comic's goo bazooka. I shouted, "Take it all, mein Bubby." Then she exploded, sending a hot rush of love slime sloshing to the floor where it burned a hole into the sewer below. Spent, I fell backward, tumbling into the furiously masturbating Tom Arnold, only to watch the great Joan Rivers slither away into the open drain pipe. I'll never forget that sight because I haven't been able to open my eyes since.
Gilbert Gottfried. I am a 76-year-old woman. I sat there. I haven't got that much fucking time left. Your set was longer than Bernie Madoff's prison sentence. I mean, on. Open your fucking eyes. The audience is leaving, you ass. Sick of you. You are loud, you are obnoxious, you make me ashamed to be Jewish. I have become a Jew hater tonight. Do you know what I'm gonna do? Do you know what I'm gonna do when I leave here? I am gonna go to Malibu and I'm gonna give Mel Gibson a job. That's how much I hate you.